The first thing Commander Jalen Thorne noticed when he stepped into the throne hall of the Varellan Empire was the sound. It wasn't silence. It was an orchestra of whispers, crystalline notes that vibrated from the walls, alive with energy. The hall itself seemed grown, not built. Translucent roots spiraled up from the ground, weaving into archways that glowed faintly with inner light. And at the end of the hall, upon a throne shaped like the petal of some impossible flower, sat her, Queen Zyhara of the Varellans. Her form shimmered as though reality struggled to contain it. Limbs that were more suggestion than substance. Skin like molten opal, reflecting 1,000 colors in the light. Her eyes, two blazing suns of violet fire, studied Jalen with a kind of curiosity a scientist might reserve for a new specimen. When she finally spoke, her voice was music and venom. So, this is the creature that calls himself human commander. The one who demands parley rather than surrender. The court erupted in laughter, if it could be called that. A rippling wave of melodic mockery that filled the air with electric disdain. Jalen's translator implant struggled to process the sound. The Varellans didn't speak words, they sang emotion, yet the meaning was clear. He stood tall, trying not to show the weight of the 1,000 alien eyes fixed on him. "I came to talk peace," he said evenly. "Not to be mocked." Zyhara leaned forward, her glowing hands clasped under her chin. "Peace. You burn your own world for resources. You poison your seas and call it progress. And yet you dare to lecture us about peace. Tell me, human, what could your fragile kind possibly offer us?" Her voice turned soft, mocking. "Do you think we envy you? Your kind worships beauty." She gestured toward him, her gaze traveling over his face as though studying a flawed statue. Symmetry, skin, bone, hair, so primitive, so temporary. You decorate meat and call it divine. The courtiers laughed again, the sound like wind chimes caught in a storm. But Jalen did not flinch. Instead he met her gaze. "And yet you still wear a face." The laughter faltered. For a moment, something unreadable crossed her alien features. Jalen stepped closer, emboldened by the silence. "You could have taken any form. Pure energy. Storm of light. But you didn't. You still keep a face. Two eyes. Mouth. Why? Because even you, Queen of the Varellans, still wants to be understood." The alien queen's expression darkened. "Careful, human." He ignored the warning. "You call us fragile and you're right. But maybe that's what you envy. We break and still we love. We age and still we hope. We die, and still we dream of tomorrow." A low hum filled the chamber, like a heart beginning to beat. The Varellan courtiers shifted uneasily, their shimmering bodies pulsing with muted colors of confusion. Jalen's voice rose. "You asked what we can offer. I'll tell you, meaning. You live forever, yet your kind feels nothing. You see 1,000 galaxies, but no beauty in a single sunset. You mock us for worshipping the fragile. Maybe that's why you've forgotten how to feel." The queen rose from her throne, her form towering over him. Her energy flared so bright that the air crackled, and the walls trembled. "You dare," she hissed, "to speak of feeling to me?" Jalen didn't move. His body trembled, but his voice did not. "Yes, 'cause I've seen what your immortality costs. You fear beauty because it reminds you of everything you've lost. You call emotion weakness, but it's the one thing that makes life worth living." Her glow faltered, just slightly. The silence that followed was heavy, almost sacred. The courtiers looked to their queen for a sign, their forms dimming in confusion. Then softly Zyhara spoke again. "You think beauty lies in weakness." He shook his head. No, I think beauty is strength because it fades and still we cherish it. Because we know it won't last. The Queen's eyes widened, two burning stars flickering in sudden turmoil. For a long moment she said nothing. Then, to the astonishment of her court, she descended the steps of her throne. Her form dimmed further, her shimmering body solidifying into something more human with each step. When she reached him, she stood mere inches away. She tilted her head, studying him as though truly seeing him for the first time. "You speak as if pain were sacred," she murmured. "It is," he said, "because it means we lived." The Queen's luminous eyes wavered, then softened. A ripple of violet light spread through her form, a virulent sign of surrender. To the utter disbelief of her people, Queen Zihara knelt. The hall erupted in gasps, the sound like a broken symphony. "My queen!" one of her guards cried. "You cannot." But she raised a hand, silencing them. "You are wrong," she said softly, her voice no longer musical, but almost human. "He is not weak. His kind is not weak." She looked up at Jalen. "You have shown me something I thought extinct in this universe." He frowned. "And what's that?" "Wonder." Slowly she rose, her form stabilizing into something halfway between her radiant kind and human shape. "You have my word, Commander Thorn. There will be no war. You have my curiosity, and my respect." Jalen exhaled a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. "Then maybe," he said quietly, "we can both learn from each other." The Queen smiled, a strange, haunting expression that carried the weight of centuries. "Perhaps," she said, "the most beautiful things in this universe are not those that last forever, but those that choose to shine before they fade." Weeks later, as Jalen's ship drifted through orbit above the Varellan homeworld, the stars themselves seemed to shimmer brighter. In the silence of his cabin, he played back the hollow recording of their encounter. The Queen's voice, soft, almost trembling, echoed through the speakers. "You have shown me the courage of the fragile, the poetry of impermanence." He stared out at the galaxy, feeling the weight of her words. For the first time in generations, humanity had not won through weapons or conquest, but through truth. Perhaps that was what made them dangerous. Perhaps that was what made them beautiful. And somewhere on the surface below, in a palace of living light, Queen Zihara stood before a mirror, something her kind had never used before, and gazed at her reflection. For the first time in her long life, she saw beauty, and understood why it made her heart ache.